I got a headline. I have a headline for anybody who wants to use it on Thursday night. If they move the speech, if they move Thursday night's proceedings from outdoors to indoors, the headline is, "You didn't fill that." And then they show a picture of Panther Stadium, Bank of America Stadium. You didn't fill that. We might even use it ourselves at rushlimbaugh.com. Speaking of ads, the RNC, Republican National Committee, on their YouTube channel has come out with a very good ad. And what this is, it demonstrates the emptiness of Obama's words and how they get recycled. And what we have here, I have to explain this to you. Every statement you are going to hear twice, the first time you hear the statement is from 2008. The next time you hear the statement will be from 2012 or 2011, but basically it compares Obama campaigning in 2008 to campaigning this year. We've got about 51 seconds of it. It goes a little longer than that. We tightened it up to make it a little punchier.
These are the steps that we must take.
There are plenty of steps we can take
right now to start getting our economy back on track,
to help create jobs and grow this economy.
If we are going to deal with our dependence on foreign oil,
If we're going to end our dependence on foreign oil,
we'll recruit an army of new teachers.
I want to recruit an army of new teachers.
make college affordable.
Make college more affordable
and repair our crumbling roads and bridges.
We've got crumbling roads and bridges.
Tonight, more Americans are out of work.
We still got friends out there and family who are looking for work.
At a time when so many people are struggling to keep up.
A moment when so many people are still struggling.
If you are willing to work with me,
If you're willing to work even harder in this election,
then I promise you,
I promise you change will come.
Same speeches, same promises. Are you better off? That's the graphic at the end of the ad. Same speeches, same promises. Are you better off? It is remarkable. Now, we've put together similar examples of Obama over the years and how elements of speeches are simply repeated words almost. I don't even know why he needs a teleprompter. He's been saying the same exact thing for going on 5 years now, and yet he still needs the prompter. Here's the devastating news from thehill.com. And I think this poll probably reflects White House internal polling. A majority of voters believe the country is worse off today than it was 4 years ago, and that Obama does not deserve re-election. A majority of voters. Have you ever seen or heard of a poll with these results from ABC, Washington Post, NBC, Wall Street Journal, CBS, New York Times? Oh, speaking of the New York Times, they had a story on Sunday which a guy at Forbes, after he read the story, posted an analysis piece of it, thinking that this piece pretty much ends Obama's presidency. It illustrates what a lousy CEO he is, what a lousy president he is. In fact, here's how the guy starts at a New York Times front page story Sunday. New York Times might have killed Obama's re-election hopes. Details coming up. But first, this poll. 52% of likely voters say the nation is in worse condition now than 4 years ago. 54% say Obama does not deserve re-election based solely on his job performance. So 52% of likely voters say it's worse. 54% say we got to let the guy go. 51% of women believe he doesn't deserve re-election. Now, it's interesting. This is the time of year in the campaign we start receiving or start getting polling data of likely voters, not registered voters or adults. Only 31% of voters believe the nation's in better condition. 15% say it's about the same. Only 40% of voters said Obama deserves re-election. Now, these results highlight the depth of voter dissatisfaction confronting Obama as he makes his case for a second term. And they also suggest strongly that Democrats need to convince voters the election should be a choice between Obama and Romney rather than a referendum on Obama. If it's a referendum on Obama, which it's going to be, there's nothing they can do about that. They have shot everything they've got at Mitt Romney. They haven't been able to tarnish him. What over $100 million has been spent so far trying to cast Mitt Romney as some sort of evil villain, mean-spirited extremist, murderer, felon. It hasn't worked. Now Romney has access to all the money he raised, and he can start firing back on his own. This poll, by the way, very important to point out, does not oversample Democrats. It's one of the first. Here, let me give you the breakdown. The breakdown is shocking. Democrat 34, Republican 36, Independent 30. Now remember, they come up with these samples, they tell you, to reflect voter turnout in previous elections. What's apparently going on here with this poll is that they are sampling what they think might be reflective of turnout in this coming election, based on all the information on enthusiasm, who has it, who doesn't. And it's clear that the Republicans are far more enthusiastic, conservatives far more enthusiastic about voting than Obama's supporters are. And I hasten to remind you that we had the news on Friday. I forget the poll now, but Obama was down 15 points among independents. 15 points. So slowly but surely, we are getting news stories and polling data which reflect what's really going on, not what the media hopes they can make happen, but rather what's really going on. Now, it's easy for me to sit here and tell you that in the past 6 months, when I've seen polls that show Obama up 8 or up 10, I don't believe them. I never have believed them. You know, I'm on record. I don't know how many days in the past 3 months saying, quote, if the election were today, Romney would win in a landslide. And I haven't wavered from that. The Pew Center for People in the Press say fewer people are going to watch the Democrat convention in 2012 than in 2008 by 17%. The Republican convention had the same level of interest, 2004 to 2008. But the Pew people have gone out, they've surveyed Democrats, and they have found that their projections are that 17% fewer people are going to watch the Democrat convention. I'm not afraid of people seeing this convention. This convention, I'm telling you, the contrast is going to be amazing. It's going to be stark. It's going to be profound. It's going to be the Star Wars bar scene. They think they have a convention that reflects the diversity of America. They think they've got a convention where there are people there in the crowd. The delegates, speakers look like America. The problem is the Democrat Party is a party of grievance. It's a party of victimology. Everybody's incompetent. Everybody's a victim. Everybody's got a grievance against the Republicans. Everybody's miserable, and the reason for that is Republicans. Everybody's unhappy because of the Republicans. Everybody has got all sort of negative vibes about them. That's because of the Republicans. You're going to see speaker after speaker after speaker trying to sound optimistic about Obama and his great work, while at the same time portraying this country in ways that you don't see it, you don't recognize it, and you don't want it to be. They're going to try to tell us that the presentation they make is an honest reflection of America, but it isn't going to. For example, the gay population of America is, according to the census, 1% gay. 9% of the delegates and the attendees of the Democrat convention are gay. The lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender group, big in the Democrat Party, but it's not a mainstream American subgroup. But the Democrats They work because they're victims, you see. These are people victimized by the evil majority since the days of the founding. And without even seeing this convention, I've seen enough of them in the past, the Wellstone Memorial, all kinds of examples, particularly when they can't make the case for their record. They can't stand up and talk about how gas prices are the new norm. They can't talk about how 8.3% unemployment is new. They can't make the case for what's happened. They cannot affirmatively, positively, with good cheer make the case for anything that's going on in the country right now. They just can't do it. Some of them want to try. Some of them think this is what we deserve. Some of them think this is what we deserve for what we've done as a country around the world. We deserve this. We deserve this kind of economic melees. We deserve this kind of misery so we can find out what it's like to live in the rest of the world, but we've caused it. So you're going to have people with all kinds of grievances against the country and try as hard as they can. Here, forward is their theme, and we're going backward to Bill Clinton as the star of the show. And Jimmy Carter also not just sitting there as Jabba the Hutt overseeing the convention. Now he's got a speaking role this time, doesn't he? Forward. Jimmy Carter with a speaking role. Man, anytime you think Jimmy Carter offers an opportunity for your party to look better. But they can't make the case for anything. They've tried demonizing Romney, they've tried demonizing Paul Ryan, and they're not through. I expect to hear my name mentioned now and then at this convention. They believe they can gin up hatred for Republicans by mentioning my name. They believe they can motivate and raise interest and enthusiasm on the part of Democrat voters by mentioning my name. So they will. And there will be others that they think cause Democrats to react the same way. Carter's going to speak via video. Well, that's safer. All they can do is hit the screen when they throw things at it. I can't hit him if he's not actually there. Now you've got, what is it? Obama said that the Republican convention looked like the old black and white TV days. Well, Democrats, like Paul Ryan said, see, Jimmy Carter's the good old days. By the way, what was wrong with the black and white TV? What was wrong with strong families? What was wrong with all of that? So old-fashioned and quaint, and it simply doesn't relate to anything going on today. That's a shame, too. Maybe true, but it doesn't. But it should. I think Obama sees everything in terms of black and white. So it makes not surprising to me he would reflect on it that way. Mrs. Clinton, nowhere near this convention, but she's halfway around the world. Claire McCaskill, not going to the convention. Cory Booker, you know another bad omen? Cory Booker, the Newark mayor, who has already been taken to woodshed once for saying he liked private equity, liked Mitt Romney, liked Bain Capital. Cory Booker was scheduled to address the Florida delegation Tuesday morning, this morning at the convention. He got out of the car. He tripped on the curb and injured his leg pretty badly. But he gutted it out. He toughed it up. He proceeded to address the Florida delegation standing on one leg and then headed to the hospital to be treated. So a rising Democrat star trips on the curb on the way to speak to the Florida delegation. No, I don't think the SEIU was involved. I think the curb actually got in the way. Now, if the SEIU is involved, that will come out at some point.